तू ही मेरा 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 तू ही मेरा 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 तू ही मेरा मेरा Let's fucking go. After a long time. Let's fucking go. Oh. net.
Well, there's no doubt that this is a game which holds a special place in the minds of the footballing folk in this part of the world. Expectations rising, evidently the crowd hoping to be treated to a special contest. It is the perfect backdrop for the players to walk out to. And nobody in this atmosphere can hide from the truth about how much this game matters. The scene overflows with colour and passion. We have already started here. Oh, it's a promising build-up, this. Plenty of really nice passing.
There's no doubt that this fella's contribution will be highly important. It's the one and only Philip Lahm.
And what do you consider his greatest quality, Jim?
Well, it's hard to name just one because he's such an outstanding player on so many fronts, but...
Davids. Messi. Cannavaro gets across to intercept that. Lahm. It looked as though that might lead to something quite promising, but it turned out that that was not the case. Pinches it off him. So a third of the match, or thereabouts, gone, and we still await the first goal. Messi. Now it's Eto'o. Madrid are looking lively here. They're playing with more zest, more purpose.
They are, and it's all because of the movement we're seeing down the flanks, and I think they look as if they're going to cause some real problems to that opposing...
Vinicius Junior! Nedved. Now it's Messi. Spread neatly. Cannavaro gets over and intercepts. Now this could be a chance.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Just coming up to the 30-minute mark. Now that's well seen too. Rodri. Vinicius Junior, of course, a dribbler of outlandish ability. A sharp pass.
Vieira.
Pass somewhat off target. And that's been won straight back. And it's Vieira. Davids. Beckham. Lahm. He is through here.
Oh, that's a cracking ball. Too quick for defence and keeper. Vinicius Junior.
Still waiting for the game's first breakthrough goal. And it's Beckham. Beckham unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. He's got away. Messi stood his ground strongly. Lam defending his corner stubbornly, stood up very well to his man.
আরে ভাই কি অবস্থা ভাই, বুঝি নাই কি বলছেন স্মার্ট। আচ্ছা দাঁড়ান দেখতেছি
Well,
কমেন্টস।
there's your danger man, a title that is
কি
entirely
স্মার্ট
justified.
ডাউন করেন নাকি ভাই? না না, আমি স্মার্ট ডাউন করে খেলি না, ভাল লাগে না।
Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and we've reached half-time. Well, it has been a half largely of could-haves and should-haves. Perhaps the more impatient amongst the supporters will feel they're overdue a goal, but it's certainly not for the want of
কি
trying.
ভাই আমার আইডিয়া আমার
As
ফ্রেন্ড
yet,
কি,
at the
ওইটা তো
break,
নেটের উপরে
it's still
ডিপেন্ড করে।
nil.
আপনার নেট ভালো থাকলে আপনার এখানে চার দাগ
Review the
দেখাবে,
first
আপনার
half.
Well, they
ফ্রেন্ডের
look
নেট
lost
ভালো
for
হতে লেগে ওর
ideas
এখানে
and
চার দাগ
lacking in
দেখায়, আপনার
talent,
এখানে
which all contributes
3 দাগ
to
দেখায়।
a chronic case of
এটা
impotence.
নেটের উপরে ডিপেন্ড করে।
An engrossing half, but we're still where we started. 0-0.
অথচ আপডেটের আগে চার দাগ নিয়ে খেলতাম, কি জানি ভাই, হয়তো আপনার নেট এখন প্রবলেম করতেছে। রাউটার রিস্টার্ট দিয়ে দেখেন, আর যদি ডাটা দিয়ে খেলেন তাহলে তার কিছু বলার নাই।
Here we go again then. 0-0, and we're at the halfway point.
না
And they can counter here. Now it's Nedved. Eto'o. The pressing's intense, and it's paid off. Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending, and they got away with it.
Well, that tackle was immense, and so was the relief. The great escape.
Oh, played through for the wide man. Oh, what? He's got the shot away! It's in!
Well, whenever he reminds us that
আমার
he's got
MBPS
the
হচ্ছে
skill set,
1
it's
Gbps।
usually something very memorable or even unforgettable. We'll certainly remember that one.
আমার ডাউনলোড স্পিড হচ্ছে 1 Gbps আর আপলোড স্পিড হচ্ছে মানে 100 Mbps,
That's
কিন্তু
expertly
তারপরও
finished,
মানে
and
ভালো
he's
মতো
done
খেলা
that
যায় না।
so often.
এটা সরাই দিতে হবে এখান থেকে, দাঁড়ান পরের ম্যাচে
Look,
সরাই
he's the
দিব।
one everyone expects to put the ball in the net. That's what he's paid to do.
ইনস্ট্যান্ট চ্যাম্পের লোগোর কারণে খেলা ঠিক মতো দেখা যাইতেছে না, বুঝতে পারতেছে, আমি খেয়াল করি নাই প্রথমে।
Madrid with the corner, there first. And he gets rid in a hurry.
তো নতুন এই জিনিসটা ভালো লাগছে যে কার নেট কিরকম এটা দেখা যায় এখন।
And a header!
এখন তো খাই যেতাম।
Missed, but not by that far.
A more than decent attempt, Peter.
যে আমার 5 দাগ আসে আবার 4 দাগ হয়ে যায়, আপ ডাউন করে।
Roberto Carlos.
The attendance for this match was 71,649.
Played back in.
আরে ব্যান
Well
কিলো
played,
কি
well
পাস
played.
দিল ইয়া, দেখা আমি।
Schmeichel clears. In the end, they found themselves penned in, nowhere to go. Your impressions so far, Jim?
There's a lot of football still to be played, Peter, so ideally they need to maintain an
কারণ পাস তো
attacking
দিনে
endeavour.
আমার ফোন, অন্য ফোনে দিয়ে তাকাইতে তাকাইতে পাস পড়ে গেছে।
Skillfully cut out. He is so at ease on the ball.
আর ভাই ফার্স্ট টাইম পাসটা ছেড়ে দিয়ে রে ভাই, পাস দিয়ে
They're
দিছে আগে।
coming again and again.
Well, the question now
ওদের
is
বলটা
whether
lost.
they can sustain it.
লুজ করছি।
Davids makes the interception. Half an hour gone in the second half.
Whatever happens, that's the kind of movement which raises hope.
Maldini can get it clear.
Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
And Beckham!
ওরে
He's
এইগুলো
missed it.
হইলো না।
Well, we were anticipating this.
Shame.
They're very much set up for the counter-attack, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Now it's Rodri. Picked out brilliantly.
তো তোর রোদ আই বাল,
He has done it!
ফাক।
Right back in it. Almost no time Game still on.
3 minutes is
And that really is so impressive.
I'm not making any apologies, but I was willing him to supply the finish, and he came up trumps.
And that has added a
আর
whole
বাল
new complexion to
বালের
the
পাস
game.
দেয়।
Well, that goal just serves to give them the momentum and psychological edge now at this stage, but for me, they've got to chase a winner.
কি রে
And
ভাই,
they've got a throw.
বল ধরে না কেন?
Nedved. Oh, that's a key interception.
You wonder if that's it now, but there may be one more opportunity, Peter, for a late steal here.
আচ্ছা 6 মিনিট দিছে, আরামসে একটা অ্যাটাক দিই
Plenty of space out wide here.
ঠান্ডা মাথায়,
And
আর
that
লাভ
is
নেই।
out and behind. It's a good block. All hands on deck for this one. Nedved getting this one clear. He's having a go. That is a super hit, but it was always just off target.
Well, it was a confident attempt, and he made it look like a doddle the way he generated that power.
ম্যাচ ড্র হয়ে গেল।
Messi.
ওই
That's a nicely measured pass. Can he finish? That's
গোল
another chance.
গোল।
Oh, yes, it's there. And that has
যাক ভাবছিলাম ড্র হয়ে যাব, শেষ মিনিট জিতে গেলাম।
some heroic. Referee looks at his watch and
ফ্রি
blows
ফ্রি
his whistle.
প্যালেস্টাইন।
Well, that was close. Both sides playing their part in a great game of football. A real ride that had all of us glued to.
ওরা ছোট করবো কেমনে? এটা তো আর ছোট করা যাবে না মনে হয়, দেখি কিরকম লাগে। মাঝখানে থাকে, আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, তাইলে এটার নিচে নামাই দিলে কেমন হবে দেখি তো। এখন ঠিক আছে। বুঝলাম না, সব দিয়ে ডিভিশন 5-এর প্লেয়ার পড়তেছে, বিরক্ত লাগে, এলে খেলতে মন চায় না। ইটস ওকে।
Well, little question that this is the box office game at this level today. Thank you for joining us. You've made a very good choice. There's so much resting on the game. It should be a cracker. And expectations are rising and decibel levels are rising. The noise is quite something. You can feel what football means to the people in this part of the world. The action has already started. David Villa. Oh, good read.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Oh, well played, well sorted out. So, Jim, who would you identify as the key man in this fixture?
I really like the look of this guy, Foden, who, to me, is a player who has a bit of everything. An eye for goal, quick feet, great vision, and a willingness to take on his defensive duties when required. Although he's probably best deployed out on the right,
Website.
where his best attacks seem to emanate.
Okay, interesting. Nuno Mendes.
Nuno
Pushed it
Mendes.
upfield by the keeper.
Oh, look, this is about as tentative as it comes. Hopefully, a football match will break out soon. Fernando Torres really was well marshalled there because he was
রুমি
denied
এটা
the
ফালতু হয়ে গেছে,
opportunity
শুধু
to
ডাবল টাচ
turn.
মিস করে।
Foden. And it's Fernando Torres. And that could set him on his way. He's dealt with that really well. Platini. Back into the middle. Rafael Leao. He's
গোল।
got the shot
আরে
away.
বোকা চন্দ্র, কই মারলো বল?
It's off target and by quite a way.
Okay, it's come to nothing, but it's a warning of further threat on the break.
Maldini picks it up from the goal kick. Looking tidy in possession here. Good challenge, excellent challenge.
ইজি গোল মিস করছে।
Lam with the challenge.
Hi,
Has given
Lam.
away a free kick.
আমি কি করলাম? ফাল ধরলো হালা, কিচ্ছু করিনি। ওরা এখন এক গোল হয় নাই।
Gravenberg.
Just as I thought, Peter, it looks like this is a side that's setting themselves up for a counter-attack.
Yeah, stand by for the early ball, the big one over the top.
Yeah, and those that are up top, Peter, have to be willing to chase. And of course, those in midfield have to be ready now to recycle.
And they have got just the right players for that. That pass isn't the best. Platini. There's some great running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped.
Platini. Rummenigge. Rummenigge! He scored!
রুমিনিগা।
Couldn't have been a more potent injection of belief for this team. Top man, top drawer.
A moment that needed composure, and he had plenty of it.
Ah, that's just clever. He made the keeper think he was going one way, only to outfox him by going the other. Very nice.
And we've reached half-time. So there we are, half-time. Both teams head into their respective dressing room. And, well, there was a genuine flow about the game. Most importantly, there has been just one telling moment. It is still very tight here. The game still up for grabs. And the half-time score, 1-0. What do you think we're up to after 45 minutes?
Yes, they're behind, but it's a reversible situation. As long as better defensive focus can avoid a second goal on the counter, they know they have the wherewithal to come up with what they need.
Leading 1-0 at the break. And hostility. Great hit!
Great
Well
hit.
played, exemplary that. Barcelona with the corner, they're first. Cleared away. And now a sudden chance to counter. He's got away. Saliba gets across to
Aye.
intercept that. Bayer is
ভালো
there
কোনো
to
প্লেয়ার
clear.
হলে পাঁচটা চলে যেত ইজি।
Gravenberg producing a good steal there, showing a good level of alertness.
পাঁচটা চেঞ্জ করছিলাম, ক্লিক পড়েনি।
Modric.
Have beautifully policed that midfield. The opposition have been handcuffed.
Built as the single goal between the sides. And it's Nedved. Rummenigge, given the lift of his goal.
Well, that was well positioned and well pinched. They can hurt with their backs to goal.
ওই দেখ
Rummenigge.
কি রে ভাই, কারা পাস দিতেছে?
Foden.
উইয়ার্ড।
Well seen. Saw that coming.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Pinches it off him.
ওই খেলা না কেন?
Rafael Leao. Some really good ball movement. Nedved.
গোল, ওহো।
Oh, well, that is not a great touch.
Yeah, it all looked so promising until
আজকে কন্ট্রোল
unexpected
সেটিং
sloppiness intervened.
কার? আমার কন্ট্রোল সেটিং।
Your impression so far, Jim?
Well, this lead is beginning to look a little delicate. I'd rather see them show the ambition and adventure to go further ahead.
Aye.
But it seems as if they've settled for a riskier approach now to defend this.
Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending, and they got away with it.
Well, I thought they got off lightly there. The odds were stacked against them.
Up he goes! And that would have won it.
Well, he's clearly feeling that he could pretty much have the job done. He may well get another chance, you know.
No, no way through there. No, it's not getting there.
Well, there's plenty to like about this approach. Get your head down, keep battling away, and eventually things might change for you.
Lam threads one in. And they've got a throw. Very much into the last knockings. Well, that is one way to stop him.
এই কিচ্ছু করলাম না,
Gravenberg
হুদেই
himself a free kick.
হালাই হুদেই
He is
স্লাইড
going
মারছে।
into that little black book.
Well, maybe
हमारा
he thought
कोई
they were
गलती नहीं
already
है।
promoted, Peter. It's a silly card to pick up. Well, what possessed them to do that, Peter? I have no idea. It's not in keeping with the quality of the performance.
There will be 1 minute added time.
David Villa.
এই 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 এই
And that is it. The referee has seen enough. A statement win on a crucial...
বাবা 2045 হয়ে গেছে অলরেডি। কত ম্যাচ খেলে লাইছে? আচ্ছা দাঁড়ান, আমার কন্ট্রোল সেটিং দেখাইতেছি। এখান থেকে তো মনে হয় দেখানো যাইব না। এখানে না তো, বুঝলেও তো গেছি কই যেন গেম সেটিংয়ে। এই যে এটা স্মার্ট অ্যাসিস্ট অফ, টাচ অ্যান্ড ফ্লিক, ডিরেকশন তো অফ দিয়ে খেলে অ্যাসিস্টেড, মুভমেন্ট ইনপুট রেঞ্জ হচ্ছে আপনার মিডিয়াম, কার্সার ট্যাপ, তারপরে আর এগুলো আর কি পার্সার গাইড, এটা আমি ভাল লাগে না। অ্যাটাকিং লেভেল এইগুলোই, দ্যাটস ইট। এই বেসিকগুলোই। ও গ্রাফিক্স কি দিয়ে খেলে জানি ভুলে গেছি, দেখতেছি গ্রাফিক্স কই জানি ওইখানে তো মনে হয়। হ্যাঁ, স্ট্যান্ডার্ড হাই 60, এটাই খেলি গ্রাফিক্স। স্টেডিয়াম হচ্ছে হাই, প্লেয়ার হচ্ছে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড, আর ফ্রেম রেট হচ্ছে 60 এপিএস। আর বাড়ে কি না তো না মনে হয়। হ্যাঁ 60 হাইস্ট। অফলাইনে এটা কীরকম খেলতে কি জানি, আমি এক ম্যাচ খেলছিলাম মারাকাইডি দিয়া, দেখলাম যে নর্মাল, পরে মনে হয় হার্ড অপোনেন্ট, পরে মনে হয় আস্তে আস্তে উপরের দিকে উঠলে। এখন তো ডিভিশন 6 এর জন্য হয়তো নর্মাল প্লেয়ার দিছি মেবি, আই ডোন্ট নো। বাট যদি ভালো দেয় তাহলে মনে হয় খেলা মজা হইব, অফলাইনেরটাও একবারে স্মুথ খেলা যাবো। তারপরে যেরকম প্লেয়ার ভার্সেস প্লেয়ার খেলে যেরকম একটা মজা, ওইরকম অফলাইনে মজা পাওয়া যায় না। বাট যদি হার্ড দেয় অফলাইনে, তাহলে হচ্ছে আপনার খেলা ইমপ্রুভ করা যাবে ওইখানে খেলা। বল হোল্ডিং, তারপর ড্রিবলিং, এগুলো অনেক ইমপ্রুভ করা যাবে। 3 দাগ দিল কেন? নিতাম নি, আচ্ছা নিয়ে নেই। ডিভিশন 3-তে আসছে, এখন 4-এর প্লেয়ার দেয় কি একটা অবস্থা, ভালো প্লেয়ার দেন আগেন। স্টেডিয়ামটা চেঞ্জ করে দিই। খেলা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে, খেলা ঠিক করতে অনেকদিন খেলি না, ইরেগুলার হয়ে গেছি। মনে হয় লাস্ট 1 মাসে মনে হয় কয় ম্যাচ বলবো, 100 ম্যাচও খেলি নেই মনে হয়।
So without question,
বিশেষ করে
it
লাস্ট
is
কয়েকদিনে
the most
কয় ম্যাচ,
awaited, most anticipated
কি
days
কয়
of the footballing
দিলে
calendar.
মানে ঢুকলে যে
So
টুর্নামেন্টের
many
ম্যাচগুলো
teams, so
এছাড়া
many
মানে আর 2-1
ambitions.
ম্যাচ খেলে বাইরে
Only
হয়ে
a
যেতাম।
handful will go forward to achieve those
ঢুকতামই না,
ambitions.
গেমই ঢুকতাম
That
না।
is the nature of our
ভাই কত
fascinatingly
এমবিপিএস আপনার?
competitive game.
ভাই
And
আমার
it feels
হচ্ছে
like a
ইয়া
pretty
কি
special
কয়
occasion here in the capital. A bustling scene in
এক
the north
জিবি
of the great city
1
of
জিবি
London,
1
and a
জিবিপিএস।
venue here which has housed some of the game's glitterati since 2006. Things have got underway here pretty promptly. Quality ball.
I think we're actually in for a treat here, Peter, because we get to see Hristo Stoichkov. Never one to stay in the same position. He has a lovely instinct for his trade, and his trade is goals, many of them.
Indeed, Bulgaria's best ever, surely.
Always kind of makes me feel he's going to score.
It looked as though that might lead to something quite promising, but it turned out that that was not the case. He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. And here's Eto.
পাঁচটা দিয়ে ভুল করছি
Kimmich gets rid without sophistication.
কি ভাই সিরিয়াসলি র্যাঙ্ক
Oh,
পুশ
he's done very well to take that back.
কি র্যাঙ্ক পুশ কবে থেকে শুরু করুন 2 দিন পর পর হারাইছেন প্লিজ না এখন থেকে রেগুলার করবো আজকে থেকে এই মাসে ইয়ে
Poor
করবো
throw that.
র্যাঙ্ক
Picked
পুশ
off
দিব
with relative
আমার
ease.
নিজের খেলা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে না খেলতে খেলতে
Squeeze it through.
খেলা ঠিক করতে হইব
Stoichkov got a shot away.
ওরে বাবা এখান থেকে শট দিয়ে
Well,
গোল
now
দিয়ে
it's a race
দিতেছে
for the ball. Rafael Leao, a player so deservedly decorated with praise and glory. And that's been intercepted.
That was well played, well stopped. Look, it's a run defences dislike, but the timing has to be spot on. They've got to be quick moving this forward.
He's got plenty of space out wide here. He's shifting through the gears here. Oh, shooting chance! And he's
শুটিং
done it!
চান্স
And that takes
ইয়ার
it up
কার্ল তো
to
ভাল লাগে না এই
30.
তোর কিন্তু লং রেঞ্জ মারাত্মক মারে কিন্তু কার্লটা ভাল লাগে
What
না
a super goal.
কার্লের লাগে
Well,
ইয়ে
he's
ঠিক
a
আছে রুমি ঠিক
defender's
আছে
nightmare. You try to send him one way, and he just slips the
কিন্তু
other.
রুমির এই কার্টারে নার্ভ করে দিছে আলাদা ডাবলটা
So the
মারলেই
first
ছেড়ে দেয়
goal
মারলেই
of
ছেড়ে
the
দেয়
game.
Look, he's the one everyone expects to put the ball in the net. That's what he's paid to do.
And if you have just joined us, still just one goal between them. 1-0
আই
score.
দিলাম কই গেছে কই
Zico.
মিস টাচ
Guadalajara clearly are trying to establish themselves as a team that likes to retain the ball, Peter.
And it's a good watch, Jim, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's always a pleasure for.
Chance
আই
to
ফেক
finish.
শট ছিল রে ভাই
An attempt which, in hindsight, was probably just beyond him.
দারুণ
That's
গোল
really
থ্যাংক ইউ
well
ভাই
manoeuvred. Zico. And it's
বাট
Stoichkov.
খেলা মন
You
মতো
have to
খেলতে
expect
পারতেছি
that
না
from everyone now.
অনেকদিন খেলতে না তো এর লেগে ইয়ে হয়ে গেছে হাত বসে গেছে
Vieira. He can run onto that.
আই ভুল
He's
পাস দিছি
intervened well there.
দিছিলাম ম্যাচ রে ভাবছিলাম এটা আমার কাছে প্রেস করতেছো এন্ড ম্যাচই খালি হয়ে যাবে কিন্তু পাঁচটা জোর হয়ে গেছে
Short changes him with that pass.
এটা কি পাস দিল
Stoichkov. He's found a way through.
Added time.
Now then, the ball's come loose. And that is going to be the
হাফ গেল
final
না
action of the
খেলাই
first
শেষ হয়ে
half.
গেল
Well, it's a half which has simmered along
আচ্ছা
nicely,
হাফ গেছে
warming up to what may be a more open second half to follow. What have we learned from the first 45 minutes?
Well, I think there's plenty to be pleased about with that first half display in terms of the score and overall approach.
Leading 1-0. Gabriel Jesus!
গোল
And for a moment, time stood still.
That's just front foot enforcement. Pressure leads to mistake, leads to chance.
থ্যাংক ইউ
And claimed it back swiftly. And he's managed to get free.
আরে দূর বেশ আগে দিয়ে দিছি ডাবল টাচ
Well, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested.
Well, the further he went, the more attention he attracted. There was just way too much pressure for him to get the shot
ম্যাচের
away.
জন্য ছিল রে বলটা খালি মিস টাচ হয়
That pass has been well intercepted. Still just a single goal between the sides. Van Dijk gets over and intercepts.
এই বাইরে জাস্ট নট সাইড হয়ে গেছে
The attendance for this match was 62,000.
So, Jim, is that the manager telling the forwards that they must stay forward for now?
Well, I think he just is concentrating on the shape here, and he wants them to press as high as they can and get in the right
রিসিভ করলে
position
আর ভালো লাগে
to
না
do that
ফার্স্ট টাচ
collectively.
তোমার টাচ পাস দেওয়া নাই মনে হয়
Vieira. Well, that tackle was certainly sturdy. He's gone down, but the referee just tells him to get back up again. And he welcomes it in.
Well, this is exactly the approach they have to take now, Peter.
This is a really front-footed approach.
You know, the interest value in this game might just take off from here.
Van Dijk. Van Dijk gets across to intercept that.
দিস লফটেড মেরে দিল নিচে দিয়া।
So Jim, what are you thinking?
Well, this lead is beginning to look a little delicate. I'd rather see them show the ambition and adventure to go further ahead. But it seems as if they settled for a riskier approach now to defend this.
Oh, perfectly measured that. Just the keeper to beat!
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Vieira. Rafael Leao might just make this. Zico. And it's Zico. Well seen. Saw that coming.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
Oh, that's well spotted. Well played. That has snuffed out the danger. I think we're just about done here. That's a throw. Messi.
বাজে পাস।
I think it's time for them to concentrate on closing this one out.
Another pass just keeps it ticking over. And here's Messi.
Added time.
Not too much to add on here, just a minute. Gabriel Jesus. Now it's Stoichkov. And that is that. Well, that was tense. Boy, that was tense. The
কিরে
two
আমার দাগ
sides
দেখে
separated
তিনটা
by
চলে
the
আসছে এই
game's
ম্যাচে,
only
সমস্যা
goal.
কি?
Eto taking in the
আমার দাগ তিনটা আসার কারণ কি এই ম্যাচে? একটু খেয়াল করিনি। সবাই লাইভটা একটু লাইক করে দেন। এখন থেকে রেগুলার করবো, স্ট্রিম করবো। খেলা ঠিক করতে হইব। না খেলতে খেলা হয়ে গেছে, নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে। চার্জ কয় পার্সেন্ট আছে দেখি। কি রে এত জলদি চার্জ যেতেছে? র্যাঙ্ক 3, তার মানে ডিভিশন 3, তার মানে ডিভিশন 1-এর প্লেয়ার। এটা ভালোই আশা করি। আচ্ছা, সুয়ারেজ নিছে। ওকে,
So the win is over. We can
was
finally
there
get going. Welcome to
maybe
everybody who has joined
record.
us for this unmissable game. Hugely anticipated, hugely hyped. Undoubtedly the place to be at this moment in time. Well, the pre-match build-up has been fantastic. Now, the game itself. We have already started here. And that interception was most necessary.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
Looking tidy in possession. It's Eto!
আই
Well, that is good. Super running, sharp movement. Came up against a defender, though, who was ever so determined. Passing nice and neat.
ব্যাপারটা শট।
Lam gets it clear. Well, they've got it again. Aimed beyond the defence. Rafael
Aye.
Leao!
ডাবল টাচ কই, ডাবল টাচ তো দিলাম।
And he looked every bit the assured keeper there.
আর আমি ভুলে
Well,
গেছি, আমি
someone's
ভাবছিলাম
doing
ন্যাপ
his
দে
job
দুই পাশে।
properly, Peter, that's for sure. Back into the middle.
বাজে
No,
পাস।
that's been intercepted.
ইটস ওকে।
Bellingham. So it is still 0-0. Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep.
কারে দিছি?
Bellingham with the... And a header!
আই গোলে
He's
যেতেছে।
try.
That's a little unfortunate. He had a lot of people worried then.
Oh, he's been caught napping. He's picked his way through. Luis Suarez. There's the hit! Well, here's a man adored by many, even deified by some. Well, he's going to be disappointed with that. Madrid look happy to sit back for the moment here.
Yeah, everything they're doing screams counter-attack, but it's a long counter-attack. When they win it back, they're not wasting any time. They're just trying to get the runners away as quickly as possible. Bellingham really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
Rafael Leao.
অপোনেন্টের ইয়া ভালো না, নেট ভালো না, মাত্র
It's
2 দাগ।
Vieira.
কারে দিলাম?
Rafael Leao. Oh, good read.
That was well played, well stopped.
Well, a goal here would be the ultimate pick-me-up just before the break. And here's Eto'o. Well, the defence just about came out on top, but they were certainly tested. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Rafael Leao. Quality ball. Luis Suarez. Kaka. Cannavaro calmly anticipate. And that'll be the final action of the first half. Well, there it is, half-time. Not a bad watch by any means. And the efforts of both sides have been good, but neither have been able to penetrate. And so we reach the break, and the game remains goalless. An engrossing half, but we're still where we started, 0-0. So we're straight back at it at the start of the second half. 0-0, and we're at the halfway point.
We got a score.
Well seen, saw that coming.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Messi really struggling to influence the game.
He needs a minder, and one of his teammates should be picking up on that, and quickly.
Passes short and
আরে
sharp.
নেইমার বল বেটা রিসিভ কর।
And it's Messi. Well, we're still waiting for a goal to report here.
কি রে ভাই, বল ছেড়ে দেয় কেন, ম্যাচটা খারাপ হয়ে যাবে।
Right card. And it's Nedved. Nedved going face to face with his great rival. Nice physical challenge. He's not played the ball, that's a foul.
The attendance for this match was
A
71,550.
beautifully policed that midfield. The opposition have been handcuffed.
Neymar. Neymar was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. And they're not going to make any further progress now. And the pass is intercepted.
Footballing with usually identifies with running room, and we've just seen a prime example.
আরে ভাই
And it's Luis Suarez. And he's on his way! He's under a lot of pressure there. Plenty. It's Luis Suarez!
হালাটা দেখে আটকান যেতেছে না।
That was no routine save.
Really looked sharp there, didn't he? That's very well played.
Madrid with their first corner, the first in the game for either side, actually.
সব দিকে অফ ফর্ম।
Substitution in progress.
Last-ditch defending, but that'll do.
Concentration levels are very good,
এই
and so is the
টানটা না দেওয়া
commitment.
উচিত
This
ছিল,
game could yet
টানটা দিয়ে
yield a
মিস
winner.
করছি।
Davids.
ডিসি কই গেছে কই? হোয়াটএভার পাইছে, হ্যাঁ বাইরে গেল। হাউ দেখলাম তো ভিতরে আছে।
Bellingham. And here's Messi. Nedved. And that's been intercepted.
That's great positioning.
সামনে
So
আর
good
10
from him.
মিনিট আছে, আমি ভুল করছি, ফরমেশনটা চেঞ্জ করা উচিত ছিল।
Look, it's a run defences dislike.
He's got tall. And he has kept it out somehow.
Really anticipated that well, didn't he?
Well seen. Saw that coming.
That was well played. Well
কি রে
stopped.
ভাই,
That looks a good ball through. They've got a corner here. Desperate defending required here. And he's gone looking for safety.
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance
বাইরে
for
আজা,
one last fling.
শিট।
There will be 3 minutes.
Played back in.
time.
Now it's Ned.
গোল। হাই ফাক ম্যান, কই মারছে বল?
Try. The outcome could so easily have been different.
Well,
ইজি
he's
গোল।
furious with himself, but at least the boss is applauding his effort then.
Now that's well seen too.
ক্লিয়ার গোল ছিল, কই মেরে দিছে হালায়। আচ্ছা অফসাইড হয়েছে, আমি ভাবছি খেলা শেষ। রিদুন আহমেদ বাজার কয়েন গ্রুপ দেন ভাই, আপনি আমারও দেন মিয়া, আমি খেলি না মিয়া, খেলা টেলা ছেড়ে দিছি মিয়া, কই কয়েন টয়েন গিফট দেওয়ার মিয়া, খেলায় ব্যাক করাইবেন তা না, উল্টা আমার থেকে
Good
চাইতেছেন।
looking ball. Rummenigge. Oh, and he's through the middle.
ঢুকতে পারলাম
And
না।
that will be the final act. So a tough one to gauge. Defensive dominance combined with wastefulness in
ড্র
attack.
হয়ে গেল শালা,
And the outcome
ইজি গোল ছিল।
inevitable.
একটা লাগছে 12, আচ্ছা 12টা লাগছে যাক, কিন্তু নেদভেদের এই গোলটা ইজি গোল ছিল, হালাই মিস করে রইল। আচ্ছা এই যে এলটের লগত মানে এর আগে একবার খেলা পড়ছিল। এই ম্যাচ আমি এমনিতে জিতলাম, আমার গোলকিপার, আমি না জিতলে আমার গোলকিপার আমার ঠেলে জিতে দিব। পিটার স্মাইকেলে ফুল ফর্মে আছে।
Well, they say football's only a game, but you should try telling this lot. Without a doubt, it is the week's most eagerly awaited contest.
We got a
sporting
bit
event which has
ass.
magnificent scenery as its backdrop. It is tribal, and it has aroused the most primal of instincts in so many of us. And we are glad to have you alongside us for it. And we have in front of us this gloriously imposing arena. Oh, he's been caught it here.
Faizlam chalo goal kha goal.
Goal!
It's okay.
Listen, the big names earn their
Na
reputation
khala
for
celebration
precisely
diteche.
the reason we just
Se
seen.
ban ke lore
They have a
dara.
habit of making their presence felt, and here we are, early stages. He struck one, and he looks hungry for more.
গোলটা কিছুটা এর মতো হয়েছে যে কি জানি কয় এর নাম সালিবা যে রিয়াল মাদ্রিদের লগে দিছে খাওয়াইছে ওইটার মতো আর কি আর্সেনাল ভার্সেস রিয়াল মাদ্রিদে
Couldn't squeeze it through. Rummenigge pinches it off him. That pass has been well intercepted. Now it's Messi.
কি রে ওটা কস্তা কোয়ার্তা
There were better options before the ball was lost. Easy to say from up here, I know. Dembele is wide and looking to get onto this.
ওই বল ধর
Schmeichel catches it safely.
Well, I wouldn't quite advise they should resort to risk-taking at this stage. There's plenty of time left yet.
Now the finish!
ল সেলিব্রেশন বেঞ্চ
They have done it! They had their equaliser!
মাগওয়ালা 12 গোলটা খাই
Well, we're all back to square one, but I hope this game opens up from here. It looks as if it could happen.
Complete awareness. He understood what was needed and he executed it smoothly.
Yeah, I really can't say enough as to how good the final ball was. It took the defence out of the equation for
ল গোল
He's got a goal! And the game is well and truly turned on its head.
মেসি নাম তো सुनाई होगा
So impressive. So we
আচ্ছা
have a
ধরলাম
breakthrough.
2-2 হইছে
Now how will things develop from here?
Well, it's been an absolutely fabulous spell for them, and they're starting
Baje
to look
pass.
unstoppable. There could be more on the way.
কি করতেছে রে প্লেয়ারে
Threads one in. Sané. And he's quick to
ওরে
snatch it back.
ওয়াকেরিয়া শালার পুত
Pass is just off target. Kyle Walker is sporting a guilty look after that.
Clearly is miffed, having made the run and not get picked out.
Now it's Rafael Leao. Shot could, can he finish? And he hits the net. And they're at it again.
আরে সেলিব্রেশন দিতে ভুলে গেছি শালার পুত সেলিব্রেশন দিছে
That is a super smooth goal. Beautiful manoeuvring of the ball and splendid authority in the finish.
Yeah, the touch before
Cara
the
de
finish
pass.
is so often the critical part, and we've just seen an example.
Well, that has changed the dynamic somewhat.
Well, everything is going to plan, Peter. A day for a regular managerial heartbeat, at least for one.
And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped.
Baresi clears. He's shifting through the gears here. Oh, good read.
He read that really well and stopped it.
আর থ্রু কি
Kept
লেগে
his eye
দিলাম
on it, and he's there.
Will be 3 minutes at a time.
সব
Rummenigge,
সিলি মিস্টেক গুলো ম্যাচ গরমায় যায়
and they're quick to get it back.
ল আরেকটা
And more. A quite incredible spell. They are flying. Swift, incisive, deadly, all done in a matter of seconds. And that is going to be the final action of the first half.
Well, every time they've gone through the gears, Peter, they've looked like scoring. So provided they can stay well clear of the handbrake, they ought to be completely out of sight fairly soon.
Really has been an astonishing game, peppered with goals. You cannot help feeling that the second half will supply more. And we are already promptly back underway.
এই জিনিসগুলো খুব বিরক্তকর
And Messi! is a man adored by many, even deified by some. Sane in acres of space out wide.
মালদিনের দিয়ে ডাবল টাচ দিতেছে, ভুলে গেছে ডাবল টাচ নাই।
Rafael Leao goes on a run down the left wing, and he cuts out the supply.
Really has the confidence and skill to be able to hold the ball up like that until support arrives a little sooner, and just maybe there he overdid it slightly and should have released it because the support was arriving quickly.
And the pass is intercepted. Bayern Munich appear to be happy to let their front players stay up front all the time.
Well, it's signalling to the opposition that they're setting themselves up for the counter-attack. It's plain and simple.
And it's Walker. Schmeichel claims it. Rafael Leao. Oh, he's seen that early. Used a certain sixth sense. Can he spark a counter here? Now it's Nedved. Messi. Bayern Munich can breathe again. Just.
Well, that tackle was
Bayern
immense, and
Munich
so
can
was the
breathe
relief.
again.
The great
Just.
escape.
Excellent challenge there, uncompromising. He's found a way through. Maldini did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly willing to compromise. Nedved. Lahm. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Now it's Dembele. Well, that is not the best ball, and he offers an apologetic look.
Well, that's down to a simple miscalculation. No more, no less.
Now it's Messi. Great hit! They've
Great
done it!
hit.
It could be a lifeline! Two more
Acha.
needed!
It
Well,
could
we've
be a
seen the hunger to
lifeline.
win it back
2
and
more
the
needed.
focus to make it count. A very tasty
Acha, হবে।
combination.
Neymar. এমএসএন খেলাই।
Substitution on the field. Number 9, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge.
We have got changes here, from both sides in fact.
13,
So, just a consolation, or
মার
is there a way back
সুয়ারেজ
from here?
মার শটলো।
In comes the corner.
Van Dijk. Coming on the field, number 21.
And we have our very
ডিরেক্ট
first
ট্রাই
corner.
করে একটু।
Number 8, Neymar. Number 11, Platini. Number 19,
Bayern Munich have the chance to go the other way.
Lilian Thuram. Substitution.
Cannavaro. Played out wide. Bout of passing here, really easy on the eye. And he's been shifted off
আর
it.
বল ছেড়ে দিছে।
Vinicius Junior. Great ball if he can get there. Cannavaro cuts it out. Vieira. Confirmation that
এর
he's gone
শট
for
মেরে
goal.
দিছে। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Baresi. And with that, the final whistle. So the winners bullish and belligerent after a remarkable collective effort. Fall behind they may have done, but they were having none of that.
দেখি আলাই ডিভিশনের কত ডিভিশন একের প্লেয়ার, এটা তো শিওর। র্যাঙ্ক কত? আচ্ছা 5000। আচ্ছা এখানে আমরা এই লগে কত র্যাঙ্ক ওইটাও দেখায়, তো এর লগে খেলতে হইব। আচ্ছা পর আগে এই একটা র্যাঙ্ক পুশ দিয়ে আনি, এই লগে পরে খেলবো না। চার্জ কয় পার্সেন্ট? 37। চার্জ খুব জোরে যেতে আছে। আবার 3 বার নিয়ে আনি। সবাই স্ট্রিমটা একটু লাইক করে দেন প্লিজ অ্যান্ড থ্যাংক ইউ। Diego Forlan, David Beckham রে খেলাই। Okay, not bad.
Well, there's no doubt that this is a game which holds a special place in the minds of the footballing folk in this part of the world. Expectations rising, evidently the crowd hoping to be treated to a special contest. It is the perfect backdrop for the players to walk out to.
I প্রথম পাস দিছি 5 ক্লিক পড়ে নাই, এরপর আবার পাস দিছি শট দিয়ে দিছি।
The noise is quite something. You can feel what football means to the people in this part of the world. And already we're underway here. Expertly cut out, really nicely done. Referee's given a throw. Jim, you've played in games of this nature. Who can make the difference?
Fernando Torres is a name that jumps out. At his absolute best, he's unplayable. That love of running behind defensive lines has always been his forte, and with the right service, he could absolutely thrive here.
Hard to disagree with that. It is the sort of situation he thrives in.
বাজে পাস দিছি,
Nedved, well, he
দরকারই
was
ছিল
given
না।
the time and room initially to hold on to the ball, but eventually he was squeezed that bit harder and the task became too much. I think he's got to be a little quicker in his distribution then and get others into the match.
Eto'o unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. And that is a little undercooked. Zaire Emery. Beckham. Oh, nicely intercepted. And the ball's a good one here. And Torres! It's loose now on the... He's tried one!
Ooh.
And he was there to get a vital touch.
Well, someone's doing his job properly, Peter, that's for sure.
And we have our very first corner. And that has been knocked clear. Beckham has got himself a free kick.
কি রে ভাই, আমি কি করলাম রে ভাই?
Well, you might think he got off
Uday.
lightly. It is just a verbal warning.
Well, I think the alternative was to stand there and do nothing while he tried to score, and obviously he's not going to allow that, Peter, is he?
দৌড়লাম না, চুইলাম না, ফাউল দিয়ে দিল। কি রে ভাই, কি করতেছস? স্টার্ট দে রে ভাই, স্টার্ট দে।
It's a very good position, this, and the right distance too.
Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos!
ওরে ভাই মেরা দিছে, আমি তো বলতে পারবো না।
Oh, smart save. He had
ভাগ্যওয়ালা পাস
plenty to
দিয়া
do.
গোল দেয় নাই।
Well, I thought his starting position was good, and that helped the keeper to judge the flight of the ball and deal with it well.
পাস দিয়ে গোল দিলে 100% গোল খেতাম, আমার ফোনের দিকে খেয়াল ছিল
And
না।
now a sudden chance to counter. Now just the goalkeeper. He's had a hit.
Thank you.
Goal!
Oh, the invitation was received with such a clever run, and he had that defence in utter confusion.
So the first goal of the game.
Look, he's the one everyone expects to put the ball in the net. That's what he's paid to do.
That has been cut short.
We're seeing some really good pressure being applied here, Peter, particularly from those guys up front.
Yeah, and it just, I suppose, Jim, denies the others time
Super
and
pass
space.
একবারে
Well,
বাজে
I would call it blanket
Haaland
suffocation.
style
Every
pass.
single player is committed to the press.
Climbs up big. Lahm gets it clear. And no, that was never going to make it. Challenge just a bit on the firm side. Interesting ball. And that is out of play. Passing nice and neat.
stunning pass I guess.
Dealt with nicely by the defence. Lahm. Couldn't squeeze it through. And the two sides separated by the game's only breakthrough moment to this point. 1-0 the score. And it's
Goal?
Nedved.
কই মারে রে ভাই ইজি গোল
Terrific effort, just off target.
তাও
He looks
স্ট্রং
like
ফুট
he's
দিয়ে
annoyed with
মারছে
himself there. He didn't do an awful lot wrong, did he?
And that is going to be the final action of the first half. So the end of the first half, both teams have had their moments. There's been no shortage of talking points, but there has been just one goal, and that is the state of it at the break. 1-0.
I think on the whole the team linked up very well and has been organised, hence their position. They can afford to be a little braver with the ball, I think, something they'll be told many times, I'm sure, during the interval.
Leading 1-0 at the break.
Substitutions taking place.
And that's the start of another 45 minutes. A solitary goal. That has been the crucial difference. Haaland. Oh, that's wonderful alertness. Now the finish! Loose ball now,
Now
and there's
the
a chase on to
finish.
retrieve it. Good read, needed to be. Beckham. Oh, that's really good play on the right. He's driving forward.
কি রে হালান্ড
well
আমি
played, well
হালান্ড
sorted out.
এটার পাসের এই অবস্থা কেন
Nico
Oh,
Williams.
great feat that.
He's
Ooh.
picked his way through.
well played
Palmer. Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending, and they got away with it.
Well,
এই
I
এই
thought
মারিস না
they got
মারিস
off
না লাল
lightly
কার্ড
there.
দিয়ে
The
দিত
odds
শিওর
were stacked against them.
একবার পিছনের থেকে আরো কি পাস
Maldini calmly anticipates.
বাজে পাস দেখছি
Your
মার্ক
impression
হয়ে
so
আছে
far,
তারপরে
Jim?
পাস
Well,
দিছি
Peter, if they're attempting
Whatever.
to see out the game with such a narrow advantage, there's room for trouble.
Whatever.
I just think they're sending out the wrong message. This could backfire.
Oh, smashing header! Well, now it's a race for the ball.
আমার বাইটটা
He can get that clear.
নাগল পায় না হালান্ডের লগে
Good defending, albeit from an unexpected source.
Yeah, listen, we often get critical of a forward's tackle, but that was squeaky clean.
অফসাইড রে বুদে
It's
পাসটা
Beckham.
দিছি
And the whistle's gone, presumably for offside. Vieira. Adams cuts it out. Costa Curta. Palmer. De Bruyne gets across to intercept that. Now it's Beckham.
There's a real appetite from them to finally put this game to bed, but will they?
Well, a glitch with the rangefinder there, and evident annoyance.
Ah, he made it look a bit predictable.
Great ball if he can get there.
Offside.
And through to the goalkeeper. Oh, he's managed to get himself offside. One 0 as we head towards the end. Picked out, he's got the shot away! They've scored!
Scores.
2 up and threatening to pull clear.
Yeah, they were made to pay for not moving the ball smartly enough through a very strong pressing wave.
He's one-on-ones, has a go! They are rampant! And they are cruising away.
Oh, that was a cracking little exchange to set up the finish, and a lovely understanding between both players. I
who
mean,
they
that's
beat?
clearly tailored on the training ground and delivered beautifully on match day.
There will be 3 minutes.
3-0 and things are starting to look awfully cosy.
Well, their manager seems to have them always thinking about the next goal. When's the next goal coming? They're such an entertaining watch.
What a throw in. And that is that. Well, that was a shimmering, sizzling, scintillating game. The key characters glittered throughout and did what they did when required so to do.
My prime. Hi, bro. How you doing? Where? Oh, where I'm from? I'm from Bangladesh, bro. Okay. We got a bid in. এটা ভালো প্লেয়ার আছে, এটা হারাইতে হইব নো ম্যাটার হোয়াট। We gotta beat him at any cost.
Well, hello and welcome one and all. It's a pleasure to have you with us. As you can see, we are all set. The game should be a truly entertaining one, whichever side of it you find yourself on. We have a grand mass of noise and colour, and the juices are flowing. And we have in front of us this gloriously imposing arena. Absolutely
He's
perfect
playing
for a
good.
game of this nature.
He's a good player.
We have already started
You have
here.
to be careful.
So, Jim, tell me this, who are you looking for in particular here?
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk. He's just about unbeatable in every department, Peter. He's strong, he's quick, he's totally dominant in the air. And what's more, he seems to really love a tussle. His passing's good too, and he never seems to lose it in important areas.
I'd expect this team to notch up
What?
a lot of clean sheets with him on board.
They're not touching
No
the
argument
ball.
from me on that front. It's easy to see how his presence alone affects both sides. Messi. And here's Rafael Leao.
What the hell are you doing, guys?
And that defending is unapologetically persistent. It's almost personal. And it had to be. Iniesta. Oh no, no circumventing this opponent.
Yeah, I've had a quick review of what we've seen so far, and I can confirm we're in a shot-free zone.
Passing nice and neat. Chance to shoot now.
Go.
Real chance. He's delivered all right.
Yeah,
Let's
I'd call that
go.
transition with bite. They won it back and bit hard.
So the first
We
moment
have
of
to
real
score one more
significance.
goal.
Listen, when it comes to goals, Peter, in this team, he's always the #1 contender, and he's done it again.
Bout of passing here, really easy on the eye. Luis Suarez. That's a good ball out wide. Messi, very much a man of this moment. Just coming up to the 30-minute mark. No,
Aye,
it's
কি
not
করলো?
getting there.
Barcelona clearly are trying to establish themselves as a team that likes to retain the ball, Peter.
And it's a good watch, Jim, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's always
কি
a
রে ভাই
pleasure for
পাস
me
ক্যান্সেল হলো কেন?
to see a team move the ball in silky fashion like this. But you know what's coming next, Peter. It has to be with a mean cutting edge.
And that could set him on his way. Shade too heavy. Keeper can pick that up. Could move up a gear here.
Bad pass.
Iniesta. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup.
What the heck? What was
That
that?
is as far as they're going to go. And it's Iniesta.
Whatever happens, that's the kind of movement which raises hope.
Referee's had a look, and he's blown his whistle for half-time. Well, it's a half which has simmered along nicely, warming up to what may be a more
মাত্র
open
একটা
second
shot
half
নিলাম।
to follow.
On the evidence of what we've seen, they're worth their lead. There was genuine intensity and purpose behind what they brought to the game. I think they'll want a strong start just after the break, though, to force the issue that bit more.
Leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments,
Bad
and it's
pass.
1-0 at the break. And hostilities have resumed at the start of the second half.
Well, if you're ahead, it's a good time to start moving the ball quicker, Peter.
Goal.
Messi!
What a save.
And that's what you call inspired goalkeeping.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that.
Well, height could make all the difference on these set pieces.
I think this is a goal.
Climbs up
Oh,
big!
the goal. Yes, sir.
And this is getting better and better. Great corner, and he did the rest.
Yeah, he makes those runs with great stealth and a ghost-like arrival to get his head to the ball.
So that's 2 now without reply.
We're looking at a very different game now. The command has been established. Well, Peter, just see here how a lot of the attacking players aren't dropping back anymore.
And that means just one thing, I suppose.
Yeah, they just simply want to engage the counter-attack.
Oh, facing up to his adversary, this is a formidable matchup. Messi, it's a really well-measured ball.
Aye, fake shot.
And that's put paid to a promising move. Nedved. Pull it. Xavi. Rijkaard.
কারা দিলাম?
The pass is intercepted. Luis Suarez. There's the shot!
ঠিকই আছে।
He's got a goal!
And how about the timing of the pass and
উচিত
run?
কাজ
They've
হয়েছে,
worked it
উচিত
before,
কাজ।
and no doubt they'll work it again.
যেমন পাস দিছে এমন গোলও খাইছি। Whatever, কাকে নামাইতাম? হালান্ড রে খেলাই। Pirlo and Platini. Yep, that's it.
Substitution in progress.
So the manager can make a change for the first time in the game here. Barcelona get themselves back into contention.
Well, it was important they didn't get ahead of themselves and lose their discipline.
আই
This game plan could
প্লাতিনির
now
জন্য
well
ছিল
reward
রে
them with an
পাঁচটা রে
equaliser.
ভাই।
So 2-1 now, and things have got a whole lot more enthralling here.
Yeah, this is a real psychological test now that will tell us whether one side buckles and the other kicks on.
Into the last quarter of an hour.
There's a real appetite from them to finally put this game to bed, but will they?
What the fuck? কি ম্যাচ আপ হয় নাই?
And with the match slipping away, they have hauled themselves off the canvas.
কোনখান দিয়ে চলে গেল বল এটা?
Barcelona clearly executed that
That's
with
crazy.
considerable confidence. It only took seconds to score once the ball was recovered.
And he's done it again. He's got his second. This has become one superb game of football.
Well, it's been an absolutely fabulous spell for them, and they're starting to look unstoppable. There could be more on the way. Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling.
Van Dijk kept his eye on it, and he's there. Pullet.
4 added minutes has been indicated.
Suarez
Look.
providing an outlet
উদয়
on that
ম্যাচটা
flank.
ড্র হইতেছে।
It's a pretty loose pass. Confirmation that there will be 4 minutes stoppage time. And it's Messi. Platini cuts it out. Rafael
Not through.
Leao.
মার আন্দাজি থ্রু।
Haaland. Oh, well played, well sorted
I
out.
don't know.
Referee looks
হুদাই
at his
ম্যাচটা ড্র
watch
হয়েছে,
and
একবারে
blows
হুদাই।
his whistle. Decent game of football, that. Intense, intriguing. And both sides, as it turns out, unable to be separated. Well, after all of that, Jim, what are you thinking?
Well, neither side could get over the line here. Perhaps one team...
আন্দাজে বাংলা একটা থ্রু মেরে দিল, কেমনে এটা ঢুকে গেল এটাই বুঝলাম না। একবারে হাতে ধরে লাস্ট ম্যাচটা ইয়া করছি, ড্র করছি একবারে। अरे भाई स्टार्ट दे स्टार्ट देना अगेन बैन खिलौड़े
Well, it is a game which in the grand scheme of things may not have too much riding on it, but it is equally clear and very visible that there is much pride around it. Chants are filling our ears, proud renditions of hymns and songs. It is the perfect soundtrack. And the matchday noise at this place is truly special. The pride, the passion, it adds to a massive sense of occasion. So off we go then. And it's De Bruyne.
साउंड को हम लोग हमने
A real chance if he can get through. He's got tall. And he was there to get a vital touch.
Eto really must be thinking what he has to do to score there.
And we have our very first corner. Davids is there and he can get that clear. And now they can spring out of defence.
And you know, Peter, it's great to see Samuel Eto'o on the team sheet. Energetic, fast, strong, a deadly finisher, and his stamina is absolutely exceptional. He just doesn't stop running.
Quite genuine African superstar.
And usually leaves you something to remember.
And that could set him on his way. He might be in here! And he's following up! Goal! That is so good, such sharp skills, and such a delicious finish.
Well, I think he was saying to his teammates, how dare you doubt me?
So, a breakthrough already. Rafael Leao looking to run onto it. And here's Nedved. Oh, the movement is slick, the speed is slippery. The defence, though, able to hold on this time.
Well, the further he went, the more attention he attracted. There was just way too much pressure for him to get the shot away.
Messi, and here's Eto'o.
Eto'o really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
And there's his chance to lead the counter.
Well, it's a move of great
What a
promise, but
pass.
will it really prove productive?
और फास्ट टाइम तेरे भाई
Great ball, and he's in here. And the shot!
अरे
It's a goal!
गोलकीपर हाथ पूरा या ढुकेगा
And again, they simply do not know what has hit them. Another moment of magic, a real wow moment.
Oh, what a finish. I mean, an instinctive finish at that, and he probably didn't even have time to think about it too much.
And the finish! He scores!
हाथ जरूर
We knew what was coming, and he has outfoxed the keeper again.
Yeah, he always had the measure of the keeper, and there was very little doubt as to how this was going to end up.
This is threatening to become a really good game.
I think they can sense a comeback here, and so can this crowd. It's all systems go now.
Now it's Rafael Leao.
Yeah, they were looking for a counter-attack.
Shot could be on.
ওরে কি সুন্দর বলটা
A
Easy goal
reprieve,
ছিল।
albeit perhaps momentary. Bellingham. Now it's Eto'o. Fires from distance. And no one is overly concerned about that.
No, it's a fair attempt. I think he felt he could line one up there. The odds were never really in his favour.
There will be 3 minutes added time.
Rafael Leao. Maradona. And here's De Bruyne. He's got the shot away.
খাওয়া যাবে না এখন আর
Split second reaction.
আরেকটা দিতে
Yeah, he was well placed to deal with that.
This possibly the last play of the half. And they've got rid. There's the whistle for half-time. So on the whole, a very competitive game so far. Goals for both sides, neither in true command. Anything could still happen in this game. No, well, the pickings certainly have been rich in this first half.
Well, we've had plenty to go at in that first half, Peter, and it's a fragile lead that could quite easily change hands in the second. If you like your football unpredictable, I think you're at the right match.
Very little in it. The score at half-time is 2-1. And that's the start of another 45 minutes. He's in space and looking for options. Cross is blocked, and that's a corner.
cross is blocked.
So, third corner of the game. Gets his head to it! That's a half-decent try. Nedved. Eto.
হ্যাঁ এই তো
And the
অফসাইডে
whistle's
লাগানো
gone, presumably for
মানি
offside.
না
Well, here's a man adored by many, even deified by some. And here's Eto. Now it's Nedved. Might be danger here.
আরে মার্শাল টান রে
There's a beautiful
Why?
simplicity about this contest. Willing
দিস
running on
ডাবল
one
টাচ
side,
এ রে
dogged
গোল
defence on the
ওই তো
other.
না ওই তো নয় গেছে না
Oh, he had to make that, and he did
এবার
make
তো
it.
হয়ে গেছে
Hits one!
হুদেই একবারে হুদেই হাতে দুইটা
They have hauled themselves right back into it.
না ঠিক
Well,
করে
we're
গেলি
back to square one, but I hope this
Goal
game
dito.
opens up from here. It looks as if it could happen.
That was
Bad
a
pass.
given. It always was.
Well, I think the keeper has every reason to rip into that defence for allowing him to get into such a good position.
And yes, it's him again. We have ourselves a real game here.
Well, this is to be expected, Peter. When you've got two strong teams of fairly equal standing, the outcome should all come down to finishing.
Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending, and they got away with it.
You know, it was an intervention that had to be made. Serious trouble lay in store.
That has ended up in no man's land. Real chance!
কি রে ভাই আমার পায়ের বল
That
খেয়ে
was a
পাইলট না
half-decent effort.
Oh, he's usually such a good finisher.
ছেলে নাও চার এক দুই দিন কই রুমিনিগাও খেল তোর নামাইয়া দিই কার জায়গা নাম এই তো হয়ে গেছে খেল বেটা জিততে হইব
Substitution on the field. Number 18.
We have got changes here, from both sides in fact.
Nedved. Number 10. Messi. Number 26. Davids. Number 4.
And that interception was most necessary.
That was well played, well stopped.
Suarez.
Over to the left.
2.
বাজে
Maradona
পাস,
spots it and intercepts.
হোরেবল পাস খেলতেছে।
Cannavaro promptly onto that, and that is that.
কি পাস দিস তোর বড় ফালতু চোদা কাপড়।
He's been picked out. Oh, it's Eto! Oh no, that could be a costly miss.
Well, we could be headed for a
আরে
scenario
কি পাস
in
দিলে
which
গান্ধী?
next goal is the winner. That chance could have been it too.
In for a header! And that's a real chance missed. Rafael Leao. Kante cuts out the pass.
Don't you just love the level of intensity here? Neither is prepared to back down, and to be honest, that's how it should be.
Eto
কি রে
picked out
বালের
brilliantly.
খেলা খেলে, বল ধরে না, কি চোদনার খেলা খেলে এগুলো।
You wonder if that's it now, but there may be one more opportunity, Peter, for a late steal here.
He could be in here, and he's in on goal, and he's managed to get free. Great hit!
পাগল ঠিক আছে, আমার সাগর খেলা খেলে।
It's in! Late in the day! This could well be it! That is so good, such sharp skills, and such a delicious finish.
Yeah, he gets top marks for that finish. I honestly thought his odds weren't that good.
Having turned the game on its head, now can they hold out?
Well, look, Peter, I feel I've got to stress that there's still time for another, so we can't be...
Oh, what a climb! He's got a goal! They have stolen level at the last! Utterly unsophisticated, but stuck away with unashamed certainty.
Yeah, but I think most of the credit has to go for the ball into the
কি
box,
করে?
Peter. Just came in at the perfect time and the perfect angle.
All square again into the dying minutes.
It just goes to show you what the...
And that will be it. What a game, a contest of